Hello viewers, I'm Khalil Ahmed. Today we are going to talk about exports from Pakistan, what incentives must be given to the exporters and what immediate steps the government must take to ensure that the exports of Pakistan increase. To discuss this, I'm joined by Mr. Majyd Aziz, the former president of Karachi Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Khalil Ahmed. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming over. So let's get started with the government's very ambitious export target of $60 billion over the period of next 3 years. Number one thing, is it a target which could be materialized, which could be realized, which is possible? Number one thing. Second thing is that IMF thinks that during this fiscal year, the export of Pakistan may be around $32 billion and by the end of FY27, the export may be around $40 billion. It means the government's target and the estimate of IMF, there is a difference of around $20 billion. Your perspective?
First of all, when I read about figures, government figures of export, and the government likes to use the word potential. I don't like the word potential, especially in exports, because potential, they don't come up with the action. It's just potential. It's in the air, right? One thing. Now, over the years, I've been hearing, first I heard a well-known industrialist who was heading a couple of, that time in Musharraf's time, had planned a full presentation and it was like $80 billion. Okay. Then we hear in the last government, caretaker, 60 billion with all facts and figures, right? Then we see that, as you said, 40, that was also promoted by some chambers, some associations, nothing, all fizzled out. Because you see, you have to, can't have what I call NATO, no action, talk only. No, this doesn't work. What is works is pragmatic and practical actions that we take. And I'll tell you what, we will reach 30 or something this year, right?
By the end of this fiscal year.
Not 22 or 24, we'll reach more than 30. Exports have gone up, textile exports have gone up. We have seen an upsurge in agriculture. Again, that's a moot point, we'll discuss it. IT, I still maintain, and I've been maintaining for years, that the IT export figures are not the real figures.
So this $3.5 billion export
is nothing. It's much, much more. For example, I think some goes through Dubai, about less than $300 million. I think it's more than that. At least 3 to 4 times more. Because it's in the air. There is no tangible thing on earth, you know. So I don't agree with that too. So again, but I'm bullish. We need to put our act together. But the problem is very serious problem. in our, I call it the Ghulam Ishaq Khan School of Accounting. Imports are good because it's coming, duties are coming in the government's pocket. Exports are bad because you give refunds and you give tax breaks and you give other incentives. So that thing has to go because the bureaucracy thinks that it's coming out of their own personal pocket. So the mindset is not there. And I remember once I was hearing a presentation and it was written export, it was on export and there was a big, supposed to be a big E, which by a mistake that E was missing. And it was, foreigners were sitting there and I got up and I said, that is the problem with our exports in Pakistan. The E is missing. The first point is of the word export is E. The first letter is E and that's missing. And that has continued till today. We are not an export-based country.
What I've gauged from your conversation, what I've gauged from your conversation, what I've understood from your conversation, that is that the government likes to import more products so that there is more revenue. And one more thing which I've gauged from your conversation is that exports are being discouraged since there are issues of sales tax refunds and income taxes where the exporters are concerned. So the government feels that the revenue target of FBR, which this year is 12.9 billion rupees, it could be attained only by one thing, that is there should be more imports. Is it so?
No, you see, this is I don't agree with that argument.
Okay.
If that is what the government's argument is, then there's something is wrong in the whole thing, right? All countries put everything they have into exports, except Pakistan. For export, they will do everything. Even, in Bangladesh, the trucks carrying, it's written for export, is given the status of an ambulance that you have to get away from it.
Let me ask one question, since you're talking about Bangladesh. Now, Bangladesh is being called textile manufacturing powerhouse. Their ready-made garment exports are worth $45 billion. Is it because of LDC status or it's because of the government support?
Main is government support. LDC and they come later.
Right.
You see, Pakistan has, what have we done? We have GSP status. Have we done anything? We have not even reached the target. So, first thing is the government support. Second thing is that...
Government support of what? Say,
government, I'll tell you what the support is, that you give a free hand first to the exporter. You don't front load them and tell them to go up the hill. You don't put up things on there. You open up the road. It should be an open motorway for them. How many? 4-5% will do hanky-panky? Who cares? 80-90%, okay, let's say 90% will be genuine. Let 3, 4, 5, 10% do hanky-panky. What difference does it make? But what it happens is you give the others a chance to come up and become exporters. And if you stop the refunds, then if you stop there, you keep on changing the income tax thing, you do not approve the many things. Banks are having difficulty. Banks love importers because they get more revenue from them. All these things are detrimental. And that is why we are stuck between 20, 25, 30 billion dollars. We should have gone more. So that is why I said stop using the word potential because we will not match words with action.
I understand. Now, your perspective about the 5 export-oriented sectors like textile, leather. In addition to that, we
surgical,
do talk about
sports,
surgical,
and leather,
sports,
and carpets.
And carpets. These 5 export. So, the incentive which these 5 sectors had has been abolished just to shore up the revenue. Good decision?
No. What difference will it make to the government? Why? Actually, we are fixated on revenue only. We don't give a damn about employment, about industrialization, about helping people have a quality life. It's revenue, revenue, revenue. And then on the other side, this is the problem with, they just keep coming in the press that we have identified X millions of new potential, again dirty word, potential taxpayers. Then what happens? Fizzles out. why try to get all this thing out of those who are bringing you dollars? For me, even $1 earned through export is $1 for Pakistan.
That's right.
You see? So let them have a free hand. What difference does it make to you? At least we are competitive in the world. And I still say because the mindset of the government and the decision makers and the policy makers is anti-export, it gives credence to and it gives that critical mass to IMF to say, okay, right, you guys are doing it anyway, now tighten the screws again.
Right.
Simple.
There are certain individuals who feel that SME sector has never been strengthened. They say that SME sector contributes around 40% to the GDP. It is a sector which should be promoted. Then recently we saw that the government has launched one scheme of 1.1 trillion rupees to support SME sector so that there's employment opportunity for the people as well. And of course to create jobs,
Naturally.
How do you see this one? Because as far as the exports are
I
concerned,
hope it is implemented in letter and spirit. So far I have not seen anything worthwhile. But again, you have to understand. You go to Japan, you go to Europe, the really, what you call, the engine of growth are the SMEs.
SMEs, right?
See? Banks here don't like SMEs. Government doesn't like SMEs.
As far as the
Who likes the
commercial
SMEs?
funding is concerned, I went through the figures. Commercial funding is less than 5% of commercial funding goes to SMEs. My goodness.
They will not because of the risk factor. That is why 90% went to the government because it's a safe investment, comparatively risk-free.
What about LSM?
Whatever.
Large scale manufacturing.
Yeah, it is going down.
It accounts, say, for around 10% of the GDP. And in FY23, as you rightly mentioned, that it shrank by 10%.
Yeah.
So, like,
the things are not right.
how to rectify all this?
You look at the cause why they are going down, why LSM is down or whatever. And you try to address it. You go to a doctor and you tell him your problem and he finds a solution for you. Which medicine, which therapy, whatever.
Understand. Now, two countries. People do talk about these two countries, China and USA. When I look at the export figures of Pakistan to USA, on average merchandise export is around $6 billion. Imports are around $2 billion. It means our trade surplus with the US is around $4 billion.
Yeah.
When I look at the figures of China, total trade is around $15 billion. Our exports are barely $3 billion. Our imports are around $12 billion. So trade deficit is around $9 billion. With China, we have trade deficit. With USA, we have trade surplus. Which country is better for us?
No, both.
Both are good for nothing.
No, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because America is also a big market. But we are, unfortunately, because of the pressure on the exporters, what is happening is that other countries are encroaching on our share in the American market. It should have been more, number one. When you come to China, everything we need is coming from China. And I again don't agree with the 12 billion figure. It is much more. It is very much under-invoiced.
Informal trade, right?
Under-invoiced, misdeclared and smuggled.
Maybe around 20-25 billion?
No, I don't think 20-25 billion. But I think at least 4-5 billion at least more. They are. Because we have these systems. And why? Because we have in Pakistan called princely states. Did you know we have princely states?
I know. Prior to the creation of Pakistan, they were.
No.
But here now.
In technical terms, they are called dry ports.
I understand.
Where the debt of the government, in my opinion, doesn't even exist.
So dry ports in all the cities?
All the dry ports, the concept of dry port is to facilitate the exporters, especially in the north and others, where they go and when they give their cargo and into the dry port, it is concerned. It is understood that it is like in the port. But here we have the dry ports where even you can clear it, your import good also.
I understand.
It's not like that. It should not be like that. So that is why there is intensive corruption there. That is why there is misdeclaration, under invoicing, smuggling, you name it, because the government is not there. So I've been saying it for years,
So say, just tell me any 2 to 3 steps which the government must take immediately to ensure, kind of boost in the exports immediately.
So one, roll out the red carpet for exporters. When I say that, not literally.
Incentivize.
Incentivize. Why? Government has nothing to lose. We'll get dollars. It does not matter this phobia, not phobia, this one mindset about revenue will automatically come. If my factory is running, let me tell you, if I have say 100 machines, wouldn't I want it to become 200, 300?
Why not?
It will, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This is entrepreneurship.
That's right.
I want to grow.
And then you will create employment opportunities.
Employment will be there.
Poverty alleviation.
Everything will come in is linked to it. But if you don't let me even run my 100 machines, why should I invest? Why should I worry about all these things? Why every day we have notices? Today we have got a new notice that now the chief secretary or some judges and some others will come to each factory in Sindh, means in Karachi. When you say Sindh, it's Karachi, and they will come and check. Although I am the biggest proponent that all workers should be registered in Social Security, UOB. I've been talking about that. I used to be president of Employees Federation of Pakistan, so I know what I'm talking about. But the reason is this the way they would do it? I keep saying, let the worker himself or herself register, so that when they change job, they're working for me, then they work for you, or they work for XYZ. They automatically it is. They don't lose the continuity.
That's right.
But this is, we don't want blackmails. That is, remember the affidavit case?
I understand.
What was it? CFOs are running away and this and thing. Okay, there are people who, I told you, 7, 8, 10%. But you are going to hit the 90%.
I understand.
You see? So these are the things you have to move. First you have the red carpet. Then you see what China, what Bangladesh, what Vietnam, what Cambodia, let's say 3, 4 countries, Sri Lanka, what they are doing for their exporters. But problem with us is, we don't invent the 6th wheel, the 5th wheel. We are the ones who think that there should be 2 extra wheels in the car. What if 2 tires go flat at the same time? So that's our thinking. We have to get out of it. And then what have we done about the blue economy? We keep telling them, please look into it. That's why I said SIFC should include blue economy too. Mining, there is so much orders, so many orders we have for value addition. We at Employees Federation did not exporting raw material, minerals to be converted to chemicals and exporting chemicals. We have done at the cost of Employees Federation, not at anybody's cost. Why can't we do it? Why can't we have a good fishery over there? Our fishery exporters should have the top machinery, everything. We don't have trawlers. That's why the Taiwanese come and take away all the tuna. We don't do it. You don't have to shoot for the moon. There are so many things here. We are not doing anything on aquaculture, shrimp farming, others, big market.
I understand.
We have a lot of things to do. Even in our garments, there's a lot of course, initially there are a lot of issues if you are new in it, but the value added garments, technical garments, others, market is growing.
That's right.
But we are not doing anything.
I understand.
Right?
Majyd Aziz, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming over.
Okay. Appreciate.
Well, viewers, That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching.